Hi there. We are now looking at order of operations. This is level 2, so these are like, average type questions. If you're unfamiliar with order of operations, please start with the first video and the second video. The first one does explaining how it works. The second one is some pretty simple questions with like 2 steps. These are going to have 3 or 4 steps, a little bit more complicated. And the next one is going to be the really tough ones. If you can handle these, you're probably fine. If you can handle the ones in the next video, you are amazing. All right, so it's the same process, and I'd suggest you do it all the time. Do a row full of questions, turn off the video, do the first row of questions, turn the video back on, make sure you're doing it right, and repeat that process. When you start to do a whole line or 2 lines without any mistakes, then do half a page. Just keep practicing. And I said I would say it in every single video. So I'm going to look deep into your eyes and say, don't just sit there and watch me do the math. You need to do the work too. So I want you to be a good mathematician. All right, enough of my preaching. Here we go. So we've got, well, never mind. I got a set of brackets. So that's going to come first. Everything else, 2 plus 1 is 3, comes down exactly the way it looks. Then I start again. There's no brackets, there's no exponents. The only thing, all I've got left is subtraction and addition. And those two, let me bring this down so you can see. These 2 go at the same time. These 2 go at the same time. So just as we read it, 18 minus 3, that's going to be next. It's going to be 15 plus 4. 15 plus 4 is 19. And underline my answer to make my teacher happy. And I tend to underline my steps as I go. Hopefully that's going to make it easier for you guys. All right. Ooh, that's a weird looking question. So we got a bunch of stuff going on in a set of brackets. So this is going to be first. And then this, I actually threw in a time sign, which is very rare. I could have just written it with brackets and a 3, but yeah, mix it up for you guys so you see all sorts of different things. So I know what I need to do first is in my brackets. So now I can just look at this much and basically say, hey, what do I do first? Well, there's no brackets in brackets. There's no exponents in brackets, but there is a division. So this is actually the part that gets done first. So bring down my brackets. 3 plus 81 divided by 9 is 9 times 3. We start at the beginning again. We do have some brackets, so I'm going to do this. 3 and 9 is 12 times 3, and 12 times 3 is 36. So step, step, baby step. Take your time. All right, we got 48 divided by 8 times 5 divided by 2. Okay. Well, basically all I've got there is, that's a division, it's a multiplication, and that's a division. Hey, that's not a bad idea. Now we can just look, which comes first? Well, division and multiplication is all I have. So we're going to go left to right, just doing them one at a time. So 48 divided by 8 is going to be 6, and everything else comes down just the way it is. Now I'm going to do my multiplication because all I've got is multiplication here and division, and those are done at the same time. Or sorry, they're kind of the same level as they appear left to right. So this is next. 6 times 5 is 30. Divide by 2, and 30 divided by 2 is 15. Okay, cool. So don't be afraid. Take it one step at a time. Don't try and rush, especially when you're just learning. I could probably do some of this a little bit faster, but I want to make sure when I'm first learning, you got to take your time. You got to go slow. It'll be all right. Okay. So that being said, look, I got a set of brackets. I had 2 sets of brackets. I'm going to do it the right way. I'm going to do this first. 7 minus 3 is 4 times 10 plus 6. Remember, everything else comes down. And please work down. Don't work sideways. It just makes a mess. Now, from this line, I've still got another set of brackets to deal with, so that goes next. So 4, 10 plus 6 is 16. 4 times 16. Oh, my brain just disappeared on me. I think it's 64. Yep. Here we go. 64. All right, we got 17 minus 6 plus 63 divided by 9. All right, again, really all I care about right now is the stuff in my brackets, because that's going to have priority. And out of that, we have an addition and a division. And actually, I'm going to throw up here for subtraction. Oh, it makes it sad. No way, man. We're going to do this. That's next. Or sorry, first. So 17 minus, bring everything else down, one thing at a time. 63 divided by 9. Oops, I lost my place. Is 7. We have to finish off the brackets before we worry about the 17. So 17 minus 6 plus 7 is 13. 17 minus 13 is 4. You could have in this step dropped the brackets. It's not going to hurt you, but it didn't hurt to leave them. Either one is fine because this is just a subtraction question. Ooh, 2 to the 3rd times 3 to the 2. Remember, these brackets here mean multiplication. This is when the brackets have priority. So 2 to the 3rd, 3 to the 2. This one has priority because they're both exponents. But if you have more than one, then it's just reading it left to right like you do everything else. And just as a reminder, 2 to the 3rd is 2 times 2 times 2. This is your base, tells you what to write, and the exponent tells you how many times to write it. So that's going to be 8. And then 3 squared, you already know that, but I'm going to put it over here anyway. 3 times 3. So 8 times 9 is 72. And I've seen textbooks where they show you all the work working down like that. And sometimes I just find that really confusing. So if I have a little bit to simplify, sometimes like exponents or something like that, I'll go do it over the edge. Your call. Oh, these are looking interesting down here. So we got 25 squared plus 11 divided by 6 plus 9. Well, this part, again, it's got priority. Whoops, move my finger over. And the squared actually is priority over the addition. So 5 squared is 25, right? Just like we just finished doing over there. 5 squared is 5 times 5, which is 25. You don't need to show me this work. Plus 11 divided by 6 plus 9. We have to finish off our brackets first. 25 plus 11 is 36. Divided by 6 plus 9. 36 divided by 6 is 6 plus 9. Oops. And 6 plus 9 is 15. So yeah, some of the questions are getting a little longer, but it's okay. All right. Now, I was just thinking, if by chance you have some fancy calculator and you can punch it in exactly the way it goes, well, that's great, but be careful because later on when we start using variables, that's not going to work. You need to learn the steps. If you have a nice calculator, then by all means, type this one in, know exactly the way it is, get the answer. But I need to see the work in between to know that you can do it. All right, we got a brackety bit. So we got 2. 64 divided by 8 is 8 minus 10. Now we've got multiplication and subtraction, so multiplication comes first. 16 minus 10. 16 minus 10 is 6. Done. Ooh, got some negatives in here, all sorts of fun things. Oh, and a multiplication. So we've got a division here, we've got a multiplication, we've got an exponent, and we've got an add. So exponent is going to come first. Everything else, bring it down. Watch your signs. Okay, my brain says the moment I see some negatives in there, it says be careful, pay attention. Now, minus 6 squared. So I'm going to write it over here. Minus 6. That negative gets multiplied because its brackets are there. It tells you whatever's in the brackets, you're going to write it twice. So that's going to give me 36. And then bring down my plus 7. So that was my one step. Now if I look what's left, I'm going to do my division next. 8 divided by minus 4 should be minus 2 times 36 plus 7. That's next. Negative 2 times 36 should be negative 72 plus 7. I know. Double check. Yep. Now add 7. I get minus 65. All right. There's a bracket. So we're going to do that first. So 30 minus 24 divided by 2. Brackets. Now, even though it looks like you might want to do the 30 minus 12 first, oops, lost a bracket there. Multiplication has priority in order of operation. So 30 minus 12 times 3 is 36. Watch your signs. If you use your calculator, it's going to be 30 minus 36 in your calculator. So we're going to get a negative answer. 9 minus 2 times 6. Oh. There's our bracket, or our dot again. Remember, in the last video I went through, there's a whole bunch of different ways of writing multiplication, and one of them is that dot. I don't use it that often, but I wanted to make sure you guys saw it so it didn't freak you out if you saw it on some kind of a hand-in assignment or a test or something. So 9 minus 12. Watch my order of operation. Sorry, not my order of operation. My subtraction, 9 minus 12 is going to give me minus 3. Right? I only have 9. I'm trying to take away 12. I'm going to be short 3. All right, almost there. 10 times 5 minus 7 squared. Okay, there's nothing to do within the brackets, but we do have an exponent. So minus 7 squared is equal to minus 7 times minus 7. And that's going to be 49, because a negative times a negative makes a positive. So everything else comes down. 10 times 5 minus 49. And if you want to leave it in brackets, good. If you don't, at this point, it really doesn't make any difference, but it doesn't hurt. If you're not sure, leave it. It's not going to hurt anything. 10 times 5 is 50 minus 49. And after all that work, the answer is 1. Okay, little hint here. This Math Drills Order of Operation is a really nice website. It's got a bunch of, I don't know, like 4 or 5 different worksheets. But the really nice thing about it is it had worked out solutions like this. And it actually had, whereas here, I'm coloring the step I'm doing every time. I think it was colored in red or something. Anyway, it was highlighted somehow. So you knew exactly what they were doing in every step. So if you want some more practice, there you go. If you want some simpler practice, at the bottom of the page in the previous video, there was a spot on Prodigy Go where I think there was like 8 or 10 pages. Didn't have great worked out answer keys, but it had a lot of practice and it started out as simple and more complex. Thanks. Have a great day. Love math.